We no.
Can I intervene for a second?
Yeah.
And make it a little more exciting? How about the first Porsche you got lead in?
Oh.
Still waiting on that one.
Who's Gary? I don't even. Hey guys, welcome to Die, the Porsche podcast that you watch twice weekly. We do this twice a week. My name is JP. I do all kinds of television stuff and Porsche crap, but who cares? I've got a partner, Duane Wik. Check him out.
Hello. Greetings and salutations, JP. What a wonderful evening. We are joined tonight by the Peanut Gallery, which includes Romi, which we're in his studio. So thank you, Romi.
You know what? I'm going to add to yours and say felicitations.
Oh,
ooh, look at that. We are throwing all kinds of... Apparently, there's a
Rami's here, by the way.
There's a vocabulary roll of toilet paper in the shitter.
There is.
Remind me to tell you about...
the first 3 minutes, I screwed it all up, but that's okay.
About my made-up... I have a list of JP's made-up words that I was going to bring in, by the way. But we also have Chef from
I'm curious about
AutoFest
that.
is here tonight.
Hello.
Plug it.
Welcome, Chef.
September 17th, Saturday. Be there.
We have
Red Rock Country
on the
Club.
wall behind us there.
Yep.
That's exciting stuff. Okay.
AutoFest. We also have Mikey P in the house. What up, Mikey P? He's over there. You can't
We're
see
going
him.
to just do that. There's the whole Peanut Gallery, including Mikey. Mikey's our original producer.
Indeed he is.
Training young mental.
And speaking of young mental,
Yes.
we have the one, the only mental ward in the house. And I am fresh from his podcast, Everyone Racers, which I had a great time. Mental invited me on the show, and for 6 hours, we discussed the finer points of
6 hours?
racing. It was long. I don't know. But it felt like 10 minutes.
He has that much wisdom. It feels like it's only an hour.
We're not getting you mental.
He said it feels...
It feels like it's only an hour and 20 minutes when you listen to the show because
He
he's
just goes
so
that
full of
fast.
wisdom.
It feels like just an hour and 20 minminutes. Like it just goes by.
That's actually
Lies.
how-
An hour and 20 minutes.
6 hours.
That's actually how long it was.
Dwayne, I'm...
I can do a lot of things for 6 hours, buddy.
Our studio here, this is the Romi studio in the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas. If you're ever in downtown Las Vegas, make sure you come and say hello. But I kind of feel like we should change the name of the studio to Mental Ward.
We have
That
padded
seems
walls.
more accurate.
We do have
Right?
padded walls.
It's got lots of white. It's a little bit hospital-esque. We have hospital equipment in here. We do a lot of stuff with Rami's company, AM Surgical. Get your wrist fixed.
All we need is Nurse Ratchet. Rami?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it.
We're downtown Las Vegas. There's plenty of Ratchet walking around. There's no problem finding Ratchet.
Don't try to bring that word back. Was it Ratchet?
I love the word Ratchet. I always love that Ratchet thing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, guys. So if you haven't subscribed, like, or hit the notification button, please do that now. This is a brand new channel. We're just kind of getting going here. This is look, we know that a bunch of people are watching but not subscribing. So please hit that subscribe button and share one of these videos to someone. Share one to like a stuck-up PCA person.
Yeah.
Because really, if you're one of those stuck-up PCA people, this may not be your Porsche show, or you may just be. This might be the thing that gets you out of being such a stick in the.
True that. And share the one with the thumbnail where it looks like I'm saying that 914s suck, which I don't think that whatsoever. JP and his very inflammatory thumbnails. Don't believe the lies.
Clickbait.
You
saying it's
what
clickbait?
works though. So, well, JP, tonight I thought we would talk about your first Porsche. Okay, I think we all have a story about attaining that beloved first kind of exciting car. Maybe you got a cool car as early as high school. Probably wasn't a Porsche. Maybe it was. I don't know. But that first cool car and then that first Porsche. So, JP, what was your first Porsche?
It's funny that you talk about how much 914s suck.
I never said that.
I know you never
mine.
said it, but I know that you know that is the truth.
In your heart of hearts.
914s do absolutely suck.
Yeah, no.
My first Porsche was a 914. I had a, what did I have? I had a Jetta, like an 85 Jetta or something like that. And I was driving down every town has that road where there's like tons of little crappy car lots that, buy here, pay here.
And they all have a commercial, or like a guy, like the owner of that little car lot does local commercials, and they're
Amanda Chips used car heaven.
Yeah,
we're selling cars 24/7.
that should be a whole genre on YouTube.
That's how I started my career, was making commercials like that.
There you go.
What's that? It's true. I'm not even kidding.
Romi owns a car dealership,
and I still do Chips used car.
Can I intervene for a second?
Yeah.
And make it a little more exciting. How about the first Porsche you got?
Oh,
still waiting on that one.
Yeah,
too tall.
Well, that was the great thing about the 914 is that, it was great for, like, remember back then, because this was in the early 90s, drive-in movie theaters were still a thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
And the 914 has that weird jumper seat where you put down the pad in the middle and, if you had your girlfriend or whatever, had to squeeze in your buddy, sitting shotgun. Yeah, and then you still had to shift.
No
right?
tunnel. No tunnel between
yeah.
between you and the passenger. It's true. And then you had the top comes off, so there was like extra room for any kind of
activities.
Yeah.
Just so much more room for activities.
Yeah. Clearance. It's about clearance.
Clearance.
Yeah. Clearance is clearance.
I beat you on that.
Yeah.
Roger.
Nice work. Huh?
Rami? Okay, what was your first Porsche?
Well, I mean, that I bought or that I was driving around in? Because my dad had one.
He was born in a 959, believe it or not.
I was born in a 930 turbo, so it's fine.
You have your dad's original.
I did have my first. How can I be good about this? My first. No chef. My first relations with a woman in a 930 turbo. So I'm lucky. I'm a lucky guy. It was awesome.
Were you driving it at the time, though? That's the question.
Partially.
Okay.
So part of it was driving, and then we stopped because it got too crazy. And if I crashed my dad's car, I'd be dead. So
you'd be. Chef, what was your first Porsche?
83 911 SC Targa.
What a great car!
Great car. You just bend over the door, and then you just you come up, and you're ready to go. It's a perfect first car for
not sure
relations. For relations. Yeah.
For relations.
For relations.
Mikey, can you get to a microphone?
Come on, Mikey.
What was your first Porsche?
Mikey, get over here. Suck on that.
It was a DeLorean, actually.
No, my first Porsche was an 01 Boxster. It was whooped as shit.
That's
JP
right.
ended up finding it for me, and I ended up getting it off Craigslist.
That is right.
There was no right fender, but
I
still
blew it up. I blew it up on a.
No, you didn't blow up the first one, did you? You blew up the second one.
No, the blue one.
No,
I did it.
you're
Right,
blowing
the
up the
one.
second.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
You're right. The first one's still driving around here.
Yeah, so he had like what was that? An 01 base.
Oh yeah, it was base.
Yeah.
Tell me,
White.
plees, it wasn't silver, was it?
No, it was white. It was white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you
10
bought
million silver one.
so okay, frick.
That was-
All these motherfuckers in here. There are a lot of Porsche people in this room, but I don't know anyone who's more hardcore than Mikey, because he had his piece of crap. His first Boxster had what, 200,000 miles on it.
Mhm.
Then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy the second one." He found one for like $1,500 because it came with an extra set of seats or something, and your seats were tore up.
It did. It
Yeah.
was a set of those. What was it? The 911 seats. I didn't realize. So
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, okay, I can get this for parts and whatever." Okay, great. And that weekend happened. That was like, was that Luftkult weekend or what weekend? There was an LA thing going on that week, right?
Mhm.
Because you drove from Vegas down to Kingman because your buddy was going to help you put the top on it or something.
I did.
Was it a
It wasn't the
Weibo
top. It
convention?
was one of the wheels was stuck. I had to get one of those lock nuts off,
Oh, that's
and
right.
it took like 3 hours because I couldn't get the tool.
So
The white
it
monster.
was
pretty
Phoenix
funny.
Club weekend. If you've ever been to Phoenix Club weekend in LA, it's one of the greatest weekend because there's like there's professor runs, there's all these openings, and then it culminates at the Phoenix Club. It's like a swap meet type of thing.
Right.
Remember Shane does stuff, old friend of the show.
Yeah,
Shane, if
yeah.
you're watching, we still
Oh, yeah.
remember you. Yeah, he showed up to that. He drove out in his BMW.
You had
He had a BMW wagon.
wagon.
Yeah, that had
Yeah.
the martini livery on it,
That thing
and
was
he
great.
he slept in it in the Trancas parking lot in Malibu. And he woke up. He's like,
That's 'cause
"I'm in
nobody
heaven.
could
There's
afford to
Porsche
stay in
everywhere."
California.
Well,
There's
that's
one
true.
Mercedes in the middle of all these.
But he drove in the middle of the night, and so he like got there at 4 a.m. So he didn't want to get a hotel room. He was like, "Well, it's gonna, everyone's meeting at 7, so I'll just go there." And he crashed out with his dog, and he woke up and he was surrounded by Porsches, and we were all there. And Mikey made it too, like because you didn't get any sleep, did you?
I didn't get any.
Yeah, so you drove straight to Malibu in your $1,500 piece of crap.
Yeah, the top would go up.
He proceeded to park in the front row where Jay Leno.
Yeah, in the
This,
front row.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right. That's where Trancas, the old Trancas car show. That's where everyone would come down with $1 million supercars. But that's where the Professor Run started that morning. So but that was a great. Romi, were you there? I know you got there later
I got there later. Yeah.
because you were at. That was the same weekend that on the way back, your green 930
car blew
broke
up.
down. Yeah.
I think
No,
two cars
actually,
broke
maybe-
down.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff broke down on that weekend.
Yeah.
So you took the helicopter over from the yacht that was offshore.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
But Mikey, what happened to that
Nice,
914 on the Professor Run?
Oh, you mean the?
I'm sorry, not the 914, the Boxster.
Yeah, it ended up blowing up.
That was your first.
Wait, it blew up or
It
you
blew up. It
You
blew
blew
up.
it up.
No, you had an IMS failure.
What,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
IMS?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, look at
Look
this.
who's here.
Jason
Good job.
Dean's in the house.
Jason. Come
Look
to the
at
shots.
that. He's going to have to sit on Chef's lap. Go sit on Rami's lap and tell him what you wanted to say. He's like,
That's okay. He's not losing any weight.
Oh, well, welcome, Jason Adine, also known as Jason Alter. All right, gang's all
Welcome,
here. There's
welcome.
still some cold chicken wings there
We're
for
all
you.
here now. Wow.
Yeah. It's like
We're getting the band back together.
It's true.
Jason just yelled to me, what was your first Porsche?
Cayman S, 2006.
Cayman
First
S,
Porsche you got later.
2006.
Lead in.
Yeah.
I never banged in my Porsches.
What?
None of them?
None of them?
He says
I'm
he's,
shocked.
he
I'm
hasn't-
shocked.
I was a grown adult.
Wow. Blasphemer. He's a blasphemer. You blaspheme.
No,
Go tonight and
hold
have
on.
sex in your Porsche.
What he's saying is he was an adult when he got his first Porsche. We all got one when we were
Fair
younger.
So
I don't care to mention how
No,
There's some uhs in here.
I had a house when I had my Porsches too. You got to break them in, man.
Without a partner counts. So first time you had
20.
minutes ago, he says.
20 minutes ago. Like, how long does it take to walk from the parking lot to the studio?
the
is
old
is
man
question,
jokes. Oh my
yeah.
God, I love it.
Very nice. Good move. Nice move, Chef.
Who doesn't get romantic with himself when they have a Porsche?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
like, if you've watched any other Porsche channels out there, you don't have Porsche conversations like this one.
No.
No.
On
No.
purpose.
And
They're
that's
classy
why. And that's
people.
why
More like,
nobody watches our show.
We're going to talk about tire size and my crank.
My
I can't even get away from it.
Yeah, he's still on.
We're going to be serious.
Rami wants to talk about his crank.
I want to talk about my crankshaft.
We're all 6 years old in here.
I'm definitely 6 years old. It's never changed.
12. Let's go with 12.
Or 12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
All right,
Where
I don't
were
know where to take this
Um,
with the show. I mean, what I know we've got showgirls coming to Vegas Auto Fest. So if you got
Yes.
your Porsche at Vegas Auto Fest,
Should we pause for a quick auto fest?
let's pause for a quick Auto Fest break. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, I want to tell you about Vegas Auto Fest. The drivers are coming. This is one of our big sponsors. It's the biggest car show of the year in Las Vegas. It's one of the coolest car shows you can possibly experience anywhere. If you haven't made plans to be part of Vegas Auto Fest on September 17th, then do it now. Go to vegasautofest.com and register your car. You think you're a car enthusiast? Doesn't matter where you live. Plan a trip to Vegas on September 17th and come out and see this show. It's like Monterey Car Week all in a day. Have you ever been to the Quail? Have you ever been to Works Reunion? Have you ever been to Amelia Island? All those car shows are amazing and great. Have you been to Luftkult? Sure, but Vegas Auto Fest is something special. Make a plan for September 17th. We'll see you in Vegas.
We were talking about our first Porsche driving experiences and the first Porsche that we owned. You know,
Before we went completely off the
off the
rails
rails.
with other
So I wanted to
Porsche stuff.
bring it back down to earth here a little bit and talk about crankshafts. So stop with that. You're making me thirsty. Not that kind
Isn't
of
that a
thirsty.
great
You guys
sound?
are sick.
It's a great
Everyone,
sound.
if you haven't, I don't know if
It's so
Mental-
aggressive.
little
Could you just keep rattling that?
Yeah, I could do that all night. Man. That's what I was here for. This isn't the morning show. We do this in the evening. So by the time we get to this show, we are pretty well. Everyone's pretty much lit,
Tired
in this room.
Right.
A little bit of that too. No, first driving experience. So okay. Well, what was your first Porsche? We didn't get to that.
It was actually that 75.
You're 75.
Yeah.
911. Okay.
Although my father in high school was fixing a 928, and
Cool.
one of the things I used to love to do was take his cars, because he would always have different cars he was either working on, or he had hot rods that he would buy and fix and flip and resell. I would take the cars out without him knowing. So I'd go into his room, grab the keys.
You had risky business moments.
I did.
With a 928.
And it ended badly on quite a few occasions. I overheated his Corvette. I blew a fan belt, came off in the driveway of a truck that he was doing, because nothing was like tightened down or whatever.
Wait. So he was like mid project and you didn't know, and you just took the vehicle.
I would just say forget it, and I would just go like
crank
start it up and go around the block, dude.
It doesn't have a carburetor on it. You're like, I want to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, this one time he had this beautiful 928. It was like a lighter metallic blue. Not sure which one. Tan interior, just gorgeous car.
Very nice.
He had completely replaced the dash wiring harness and the dash. It had a dash fire, and it was completely done. So I stole the keys, took that around my neighborhood block, and I was really underwhelmed because I had no idea how to really drive the car. Like get the revs up and actually shift it at a high rev. I was probably shifting at like 2,000 RPM or something silly like that. So, but the 928.
Stop it, Mike.
I don't know what's going on in the background of our show, but they're
taking selfies over there. So
guys, put your pants back on. This is getting a little weird.
So wait, can I ask Duane a question?
Go for it.
Having stole your father's cars many times and been there myself, tell us about your first brown spot moment when you crapped yourself because you lost control of one of those vehicles.
That's a good question. We've all done that. Oh yeah. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. Nothing immediately comes to mind. It was more like irresponsibility. Like I remember when I was 15 in Arizona, you could be 15 in 7 months and you get a driver's permit, right? So I have my driver's permit. I get my buddy who has a permit, and we get two girls that are like a year younger than us. So I'm like 15 and 7 months.
2 permits equals a full license.
That's what I'm thinking. Yes. 2 permits equle a license. We decide we're going to take these two like 14-year-old. We're 50. So, it's fine, right?
You're 50 when you did this? That's weird.
That's weird. Raping girls? Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
We're 15, they're 14.
Really going off the rails. Okay.
I get into my dad's souped up Ford F-150. It was like a street truck 2-wheel drive. He had like the Nardi wheel and souped up engine with like carbs and whatever, custom exhaust. The thing was fastest F-150 like ever. We got the bright idea of going to see a double feature with these two 15-year-old girls, 14, 15, whatever. And long story short, I was gone for like 6 hours with my dad's car, and he's like freaking out. No cell phones back in the day. So yeah, I definitely got in trouble.
Well, what happened when you got back? I mean,
it was
you kept
one of those,
doing this and you kept getting caught. You got caught all the time?
No, I would get caught probably 1 out of 3 times.
1 out of 3. So at some point, he's like not learning to like keep the keys hidden or hide them somewhere.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he didn't care.
But that was one moment where he was so angry that he just got silent. It was one of those.
He was disappointed.
It was the
silent
he
treatment.
was disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. I'm
disappointed.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
After the first catch, you catch a beating. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then my buddy with his Rabbit was more like the brown spot moments, chef. I mean, I wasn't the crazy driver. It was my good friend who would just pull the e-brake on dirt roads.
I like this guy.
We almost like flipped that Rabbit like so many times. So I got all my exciting driving osmosis through him.
Romi, when you stole your dad's 930
shocked.
all the time, did you ever get caught? I don't remember you ever saying that you got caught. I know your friends were like, you can't do that, those are the rules, but
No, I was completely out of control even then. So I used to race the cops. They were all village cops. So they were cops that like were in our stupid village where we were, because it's a stupid little town in Long Island. And like all the New York City cops on their time off would be a village cop. So they didn't give a shit. And they were like, Robbie, all race, all of them.
All of them were the cops in the village.
Well, hold on. Yeah, I don't think
One was
It wasn't
the
the village people. I had
one
an
of them
Indian
had a feather
and a
and,
guy had, and a guy in a
yeah.
leather hat. Yeah. Can you imagine they get out and they're like,
That bar.
they're like, oh my God.
No,
They're like,
but what,
don't
you
worry,
never
we'll
got
give you a
get-
ticket as long as you bend over.
What did your dad ever catch you?
No, absolutely not.
The cops didn't
No,
tell
no,
your
I was
dad?
way too slick. No. My brother got caught all the time. All the time. My younger brother. All the time he got caught. He's like, how come you don't get caught? I'm like, because I'm smart. You're an idiot. You leave the car at a different spot. You lose the keys. You crash the car. Of course you're going to get busted. Just don't be a moron. But it never worked out that way.
Mhm.
My little brother was a little dumb. But he's a nice guy.
All right, without touching the microphone, maybe spin the whole thing over to Chef here.
But that's a good lesson learned if
Where's
you're.
my
Yeah,
car?
When did you get?
My car done.
When did you steal your dad's car and what happened? Don't touch the damn microphone. we just say like, don't touch the microphone, spin it, and it wasn't you. It's just phallic. Yeah.
I took my old
Stop
man's
licking it.
no teeth. I took my old man's pickup and I was going down a dirt road about 60, turning the wheel left to right, letting the rear end ducktail when it came around. I mean, it came around in a hurry and the car went completely out of control. When it came to a stop, I was literally just sitting there in neutral, like shitting my pants, thinking, what did I just do? But everything was fine. I got it restarted and
You didn't hit anything,
I
and,
didn't hit
then your
anything,
pops
no.
never found out.
No, you never found out.
lucked out.
That was the
bad.
one time
Never
you
found
stole your dad's car, or many times?
No. He had one of those vans, like a 78 Dodge van with the couches, like the
bubble window?
Yeah, with all the windows.
Yeah.
And
was
I
a warrior
dented
on the
every
side.
fucking corner, on that car.
Was it a 3 in the tree?
Yes, it was a 3 in the
3 in
tree.
the tree, yeah, buddy. That's
Three
what I
in
learned
the tree
driving.
Dodge.
Yeah, 71
Those are
Dodge
the
Travel
best.
Van.
Yeah. I backed that thing into
Yeah.
every corner you could think of, both
Yeah.
corners.
Those things
I
handled
took the
surprisingly
vent
well.
off the top in a parking garage.
When's the last time you saw a 3 on the tree? I have not seen. No,
Sorry.
Romy.
Sorry, everybody.
What are we supposed to do? All right, I got another good one. You guys will all appreciate this one. I'm in my Supra. We're going back. I'm in high school. We're flying. My buddy's following me in his little tiny Accord. Right, we're flying. We hit this big turn, and I don't let up, and I just go around the turn, and the car totally loses it, and it's just like sliding. So I'm like, and I'm sliding. I slide this way, I slide that way, and finally the momentum stops, and I get to the light. And my buddy pulls up, and he's like, "Stop fucking around, Romy. Oh, you're always." I was like, "It was real. I lost control. I was killed all of us." That was my fucker moment.
And now you do that just
Now I do it all the time.
on the way to McDonald's. It's like,
yeah, Starbucks.
right.
The 2 days before I graduated high school, I had saved up all year and I bought my Scirocco. It's like the first nice car I'd ever had. It was an 84 Scirocco. This was an 89, so it was a big deal, right? This thing
Just
was
5 years old.
perfect. It was like a brand new car, right?
What'd you pay
to
for
me-
that? Do you remember?
I do. It was in the Auto Trader. The guy wanted $5,500. I remember this specifically.
$5,500.
And I was like looking at that ad for weeks and
You
weeks
could buy
and
a
weeks.
great car for $5,500
Back then, yeah. I mean, that was in today's dollars.
right.
That's probably what, like 15
12.
grand or something like that. Yeah.
15.
So I talked to the guy and just kept calling him. You know, it's not like today where it's a car goes on the internet and it's sold a couple days later. These, you had to wait for. You had to put an ad
Tuesday
in the
morning.
Auto Trader, and
So
then
ridiculous.
they had to publish the thing a week later, and
Right.
then that thing had to get out, and
Yeah.
people had to see it.
It was 2 weeks before anybody called on your car.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here calling the guy for weeks, going, "Did you sell it yet? Did you sell it yet?" And I didn't have $5,500, but I had $4,000, and he took $4,000 after
Nice.
waiting for 3 weeks. So I got the car the day before I graduated high school, and my buddies and I, on graduation day, we didn't have school obviously, so we're out screwing around during the day, getting our getting ready for graduation that day, but I had to go all the way home, and I grew up out in the middle of nowhere, so it was like this long twisty road. I had no idea how to drive back then. None. I had no clue. Like, my dad didn't have a 930 Porsche. My dad, like, we had no cool cars when I was growing up. Everything was a piece of crap. So this thing was like a spaceship. It may as well have been a Lambo. And I was like redlining at every shift. I was driving as fast as it would go everywhere. All my friends were terrified in the car because I was driving like a complete moron. I can say that now. I had no clue. And we're on this long straightaway. I've got my best friend and another buddy in the back. We're late. We got to go all the way home to my house, which is like 40 minutes from high school. We still have to go all the way there and then turn around back to get our stupid gowns. And so I go to pass someone on this long straightaway out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't realize that this other guy had pulled out from the right and gone around the guy that I passed. So all of a sudden there's a guy right there. So I'm like in my stupid truck. I barely missed the guy, having a head-on collision. How do you like that for a high school? Could you imagine 3 stupid kids dead on graduation day? That would have like they would have had to have candles and crap. It would have been so
would have to
stupid.
cross on the side of the road.
Right. Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, well, nobody really liked that guy, so it's fine. Let's just get.
Or you would have wrapped it around a tree and became the next George Lucas.
Right.
Something like that would have happened. Yeah, it would have killed my buddies and then been cool. So anyways, we didn't die, but I drove like a maniac and wrecked that car 2 weeks later.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
After I graduated, and it was because I was an idiot. Yeah. I think I told that story in another day. Like, it was the day we moved out of the house that I grew up in, and I came over probably the same hill, and there was a car coming right towards me in my lane at 4 a.m. I'm super tired. I'd been moving all day, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was driving way too fast. I lost control, and I crashed. And I crashed into a ditch and spun it, and it was terrible.
No injuries?
Luckily, no injuries. Yeah.
Wow.
No injury. And then the next car was the Ted Rieger car, which you can look up on another episode some other time. So I don't know that I didn't know how to drive, and I didn't get to drive. I didn't really steal anything because my parents
I have a question for you guys. Just out of the blue. Where do we watch this?
Dur or Die Porsche Podcast is available right here on the YouTube machine that you are watching. So hit the subscribe, like, and notification button.
Are we going to convert these to
podcasts? Yeah, we'll start getting them up on all the other feeds.
Keep harping on
do the
JP.
RSS feeds. Yeah, there's no shortage of things to do around here. You can also check out Romi's podcast, not really podcast, YouTube channel, The Romi Show on YouTube. You can check out Everyone Racers. That's Mental Show. Did I get it right this time? Everyone Racers. It's like E-Racers, but Everyone Racers. Something like that instead of E. I don't know. Great show. Duane was on it yesterday. And then a couple other yahoos that are always on this show. Mikey, anything you want to plug?
Mikey wants to plug his mustache.
You can catch Jason on Pornhub.
You can definitely catch Jason on Pornhub.
Hey, that mustache plugs itself.
I mean, it plugs itself. That mustache is serious, Mikey.
Thank you.
Your bramble is not messing around. That's a bramble. It's not even a mustache. It's a bramble.
It's totally.
It's like John Holmes. I love it.
And make sure you guys sign up for Vegas Auto Fest if you haven't done it already. Also check out the Fascination YouTube channel.
Yes.
See that right there on top of my hat. Duane Wik, anything else you want to talk about?
I'm just stunned from this whole episode. I'm like, wow.
That was brutal. It immediately went off the rails.
Episode.
Went immediately off the rails. Probably be our highest viewed ever.
Yeah,
we might get like 8 people watching it instead of like
That's 8 more than last time.
Literally double our viewers in that with that number. We might break we might break single digits.
We should get a bigger table.
Break YouTube.
Bigger table and just get all of us with cans. Just do
my
this.
God, that would be
that would be completely unwatchable.
It would be great.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up and.
All right, that's it, guys. Thanks. We'll see you next week or on the next episode. Hit the subscribe button. Come on. Goodbye.
Like, subscribe.
Jeez Louise. We done with this one? Is it over? Oh,